Hello everyone, I am Ankush Chedimar and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss in a very detailed and crisp way Essay 800 series, which contains Essay 800, Essay 805 and Essay 810, which is asked in your exams for up to 5 marks. We are going to discuss this series from our new concept book, in which we have covered all the tricky questions in a crux as well, and also we are going to discuss some questions from the question bank as well. Next sir, we are going to mark you some important topics so that you are able to know what are the relevant topics for your exam. And next we are going to do this particular topic from our handwritten notes. This time we will prepare the handwritten notes in a more detailed and more colorful format, and we are going to share the PDF of this handwritten notes so that you are able to get all the memory techniques and all the storytelling of how to learn those keywords. And next we are also going to share you the printed version. It will also be available on our website in a colorful format. The PDF version of this particular handwritten notes is available on our Telegram channel. Telegram channel link is there in our description and pin comment. Do ensure that you join the Telegram channel, because at the end of the day I'm also going to ask you an MCQ out of this particular Essay 800 series so that we can have a comprehensive coverage of our CA final audit syllabus. Okay, yes sir. Secondly sir, at the end of this video I'm also going to ask you an MCQ from this particular series. Let's see which are those students who can answer that particular MCQ correctly. And sir, one more thing, that please do like this video, because we have a like target of 100. I am definitely sure that you will help us to achieve this like target. Comment down CA with your name so that you make a manifestation that you are definitely going to clear your CA exams. And in this YouTube channel we have already posted all the revision videos till your Essay 800 series, and we are going to post more revision videos and more valuable content for CA final audit. So do ensure that you join this YouTube channel as well, and ensure that whenever your topic is difficult or typical, you can just pause the video and do a self-study, because with the revision video, self-study is also very important. And if you have any query, any question in this particular topic, you can ask in the comment box and I will reply to that particular query so that all the students can get their query resolved. Okay, yes sir. Let's start with our Essay 800 series. What does Essay 800 series talks about? They talks about the special considerations when we are auditing the special kind of financial statements or special kind of financial information. In terms of Essay 800, what it talks about sir, it talks about when we are auditing the financial statements which are prepared as per special purpose framework. Now what is the special purpose framework sir? There are two types of framework. One is general purpose framework and one is special purpose framework. General purpose framework is basically where all the things that you have been studying from the from bachpan, from childhood, that is 11th, 12th, CA foundation, CA inter, the financial statements that you have been preparing are general purpose financial statements, which are basically those financial statements that are catering to the common information needs of wide range of users like AS, Ind AS, Schedule 3. And the special purpose framework, as the name suggests, that they are catering to the financial information needs of specific users. And since like the general purpose framework can be compliance of fair presentation framework, here the SPF can also be a compliance of fair presentation framework. What is the example sir? In terms of example, we have 3 examples. First of all, creditor is asking you to follow cash basis of accounting and give him the cash flow information. Then we are preparing the financial statement. It is a special purpose. Suppose there is a regulator who has given you FR provisions and they have asked you to prepare the financial statements as per these FR provisions, and it is a special purpose financial statements. Suppose there is a contract. Suppose you want a bank loan, then the bank is saying that this is our framework and you have to prepare the financial statements as per this framework, and then we will assess whether we have to give you the loan or not. Then it is a FR provisions of the contract, and this is a special purpose framework. How we can remember these 3 examples sir? CRC ter. What is CRC ter sir? It is basically talking about creditor, regulator and contractor. Okay, yes sir. Now in all the 3 essays of Essay 800 series, we have to discuss 3 phases of your Essay 800. Like first phase is your accepting the engagement, whether we have to accept the engagement or not. Second phase is your planning and performing the audit, and third phase is your forming the opinion. Now let's talk about the first phase in your Essay 800 series, that is accepting the engagement. Here we have to decide whether the FRF is acceptable or not. And what is the key factor? What is the important factor in deciding this thing? We need to see the financial information need of specific users. Like if the FRF is catering to the financial information needs of specific users, then it is acceptable. Okay, yes sir. Now what is happening sir? Suppose there is an authorized standard setting organization. Suppose there is ICI and ICI has framed this particular FRF, then it will be presumed to be acceptable if the process of establishing the standard is established and transparent. Second is what? Suppose the FRF is prescribed by law and regulation, then it is presumed acceptable if we do not have any absence of contrary indication, which means we do not have any indication that is contrary to this particular thing. And last, if the FRF is provided by contract, then it is considered acceptable if the attributes of that FRF, if the features of that FRF are according to the acceptable FRF. Okay, yes sir. Suppose for example here in this particular case, suppose we are doing the valuation of debtors, and when we are doing the valuation of debtors, this FRF is prescribed us that we need to make provision, and the provision should be made for more than 90 days of the debtors. 100% of the provision should be made. This is very prudent. Should this is not acceptable, so this particular FRF will not be acceptable to us. Okay, yes sir. This was the kind of thing that we check for accepting the engagement. Next is planning and performing the audit. After accepting the engagement, what do we do sir? We plan. In terms of Essay 200, what they are saying sir, these are the special essays that we have to consider. Otherwise, they are saying that as per essay 200, we have to follow independence and ethical requirements since we are the auditor. Secondly, all the essays are relevant to the audit, which means, sir, when we are auditing as per essay 800 series, we have to follow all the essays from essay 200 to 700 series. Okay, yes sir. If a particular essay is not applicable, then we need to perform alternative procedures, and this particular thing is applicable for your essay 805 and 810 as well. Next, in terms of essay 260, when we are communicating with the TCWG, it may so happen that the TCWG of your general purpose framework is different from the TCWG of a special purpose framework. So you will have to identify who are those appropriate persons who are responsible for the oversight of SPFS, so that you can communicate as per essay 260. Next, as per essay 320, they are saying that when we are calculating the materiality as per essay 320, we usually calculate the materiality based on financial information needs of common users. But here, since it is a special purpose framework, so he will calculate materiality based on the financial information needs of intended users, specific users. Now, it may so happen that in case of a contract, the management can agree at the threshold between the management and the specific users that below this threshold, all the misstatements will be considered immaterial. Now, will this threshold be our materiality? No, sir. The auditor will have to still determine the materiality as per essay 320. This can be asked in MCQ. Okay. Yes, sir. Next, here it is in essay 315. It is saying, suppose it is based on FR provisions of a contract, then we have to also understand what are the significant interpretations in a contract. Now, when an interpretation is called a significant interpretation, when there is an alternative interpretation, and if we have adopted another interpretation that would have caused the material difference in the financial statements, then this interpretation is called a significant interpretation. Okay. Yes, sir. This we are talking about what, sir? This we are talking when we have to plan and perform the audit. Here we talked about 3 essays. First was essay 200 plus 60, 260 plus 60, 320, and 320 related to 315. Okay. Yes, sir. This was everything regarding the engagement, acceptance, and planning and performing. Let's discuss it from the concept book. Revision under revision. We are talking about essay 800. Just I wanted to tell you, sir, after this, all the standards like this essay 800 series, special standard, SRS, SRE, SAE, all the standards will be more focusing on your direct question. ICAI has already told us that they will be asking direct question from all these standards. So the part 2 questions will be more in our question bank, and part 1 questions will be less. I will definitely tell you what is part 1, part 2, but here you can understand that direct questions will be more. So what we are talking about, sir, we are talking about essay 800 series that talks about special purpose framework. What is a general purpose framework, sir? When we are meeting the common financial information needs of wide range of users. And what is special purpose framework, sir? When we are meeting financial information needs of specific users. Now, it may so happen that in an entity, the entity has prepared just special purpose framework, and the entity has not prepared any general purpose financial statements, and this special purpose financial statements is spread to all range of users and not just specific users. Then in this particular case, will that special purpose financial statements will be called as a general purpose financial statements? No. Here they will be called special purpose financial statements only. This was asked by ICAI in your MCQ. Okay. Yes, sir. What is an example, sir? CRC, that is for creditor, regulator, contractor. Any FR provision that is described by them, then we will call it as special purpose framework. This is just an example. There can be others as well. Next, it can be compliance or fair presentation framework. Now, while accepting the engagement, we have to check the acceptability of FRF, and the key factor will be the financial information needs of specific users. Now, here, if the FRF is established by authorized standard setting organization, then it will be considered acceptable if the process is established and transparent. Next, if the FRF is prescribed by law and regulation, then it is presumed acceptable if we have no contrary indication. And next, if the FRF is prescribed by law and provisions of the contract, then it is acceptable if it exhibits the same attributes or the features of the acceptable FRF. Okay. Yes, sir. Now, the important thing is when we are planning and performing the audit as per essay 200, we need to comply with the ethical requirements and independence. If the essays should be, all essays are relevant to the audit. If particular essay requirement is not applicable, then we need to perform alternative procedure. This is same for essay 805, 810. Next, to plus 60, that is 260, we need to identify the person whom we need to communicate as per essay 260. And it may so happen that those responsible for oversight for preparation of general purpose financial statements can be different from the special purpose financial statements. Okay. Yes, sir. Next is 315. They are saying that if it is prepared as per provisions of the contract, then we need to obtain understanding of the significant interpretations of the contract. Now, which interpretation are called significant? When the adoption of another interpretation would have caused the financial statements to be materially differentiated, then it is called a significant significant interpretation. Next is essay 320. It may so happen that the management agree with the users on the threshold below which the misstatement will be considered immaterial. Now, will the auditor need to consider this as a materiality? No, sir. Auditor will have to determine the materiality as per essay 320. Okay. Yes, sir. Now, what about reporting, sir? They are saying in your auditor's report on SPFS, you need to describe the AFRF that is used by the management. You also need to say what is the purpose of the financial statement and who are the intended users. Now, these two particular things will already be told in your financial statement. So either you can describe again in your auditor's report, or you can refer to the note in the financial statements where these two things are included. Okay. Yes, sir. You have both the options. This is I was asking you MCQ. Next, suppose management has a choice of selecting among multiple FRF, whichever the FRF they are used to preparing a special purpose financial statement. So in the audit report, we need to explain that management is the responsibility for choosing that FRF that is acceptable. Okay. Yes, sir. Next. Suppose if I'm including CAM in my audit report, then I will have to follow SA 701. Is it mandatory to include CAM? No, sir. Why, sir? CAM is mandatory. I have already discussed in SA 701. CAM is mandatory only when, sir, there is a listed entity, complete set of general purpose financial statements, then it is only mandatory. Here it is special purpose, so here it is not mandatory. But if the auditor wants to give CAM, he can give CAM, but you will have to follow SA 701. Suppose there is a report, suppose the management has prepared a report, and in the report they have included SPFS and they have included other information as well, so that they can provide the information to owners or similar stakeholders. Who are similar stakeholders? Are specific users. Now this, since other information is also included in this report, that will be called annual report as per SA 720, and then I will have to perform all the procedures that we have discussed in SA 720 in your previous video. Okay, yes sir. Next, what they are saying, sir, suppose there is a matter that we have referred in our auditor's report on general purpose financial statements, and we have to refer the same matter in the auditor's report of special purpose financial statement, then what we will do, sir? We will give other matter paragraph. Why, sir? Because this is not disclosed in financial statement, this is disclosed in auditor's report, so we will refer to that particular matter that is disclosed in general purpose financial statements audit report through an other matter paragraph. Suppose there is a Murg paragraph, then we can refer in both. Okay, yes sir. Now next, it may so happen that the special purpose financial statements can be handed over to other than the specific users, and it may be used for other than intended purposes. Now, to avoid any misunderstanding in this particular case, what we have to do, sir? We have to alert the users of the auditor's report of the financial statement that the financial statements are prepared for special purpose framework as per special purpose framework, and they are prepared for special purpose. They may not be suitable for other purposes. And also we have to include one more, we have to extend this particular paragraph, and we have to also say that our audit report is prepared solely for specific users, and we have to do this by restricting the distribution and use of our report. Okay, yes sir. And where we have to do all these things? We have to do all these things in emphasis of meta paragraph. Why, sir? Because in the financial statement it is already disclosed that it is a special purpose financial statements, and who are the specific users? I have to refer that particular thing. That's why I will give emphasis of meta paragraph over here. We will also discuss the draft of this paragraph. Don't worry about it. Okay, yes sir. Next is what, sir? So here basically we are extending this emphasis of meta paragraph to include this particular thing. Next, sir, suppose I am the auditor of GPFS and I am the auditor of SPFS. Then I will have to disclose this particular fact in my audit report on SPFS in other meta paragraph that I am also the auditor of GPFS. Will it is mandatory to be the auditor of GPFS and the auditor of SPFS should be same? No, sir, it is not mandatory. But if you are same, then you will have to disclose this meta paragraph in your other meta paragraph. Okay, yes, sir. Just remember it is not mandatory because in SA 805 and SA 810 it is mandatory. So here you have to remember it is not mandatory. Okay. Yes, sir. Let's discuss it from the concept book. What we have studied, sir, we were talking about description of FRF that we have to give in our auditor's report. We also have to describe what is the purpose of the financial statements and the intended users, or we can refer to the note in the financial statement that contains this information. Next, if the management has a choice of multiple FRF, then we need to explain that it is management responsibility to determine the FRF that is acceptable. Second, when the CAM is communicated in the report on SPFS, then SS 701 also applies. If there is a report that is containing SPFS and there is another information in the report for owners and similar stakeholders, then we need to consider this other information as our annual report as per SS 720, and we will have to perform the procedures. Next, they are saying suppose you want to refer to a matter that is referred in the auditor's report of complete set of financial statements of general purpose framework, then we can refer this matter in our special purpose framework report when in our other meta paragraph. This is important. Okay, yes sir. Now this alerting the readers is important, that you have to alert the readers that the financial statements are prepared as per special purpose framework. Why, sir? Because the special purpose financial statements can be used for other purposes other than they were intended. To avoid the misunderstanding, what we do, sir, we alert the users through emphasis of meta paragraph that these financial statements are prepared as per special purpose framework and therefore cannot be suitable for other purposes. Secondly, you will extend this particular alert paragraph, and you will also include in this paragraph that our report is intended solely for specific users, and we want to restrict the distribution or use of our report so that it cannot be spread to multiple people. And lastly, they are saying that if you are the auditor of the general purpose financial statements and if you have audited the special purpose financial statements as well, then this particular fact will be disclosed in other meta paragraph. Okay, yes sir. Let me show you the draft paragraph, and all the draft paragraph of your CA final audit syllabus that is asked by ICA or that can be asked by the ICA is included in your concept book. Yes sir, this was included in Mahasmart Marathon, and this Mahasmart Marathon booklet is included in your concept book. In your concept book at the last there is a section of Mahasmart Marathon. You have to come to page number 17. In the page number 17 here, if you will see, this is the draft paragraph that the ICA can ask you to draft. Okay, yes sir. The heading would be what, sir? If it is an emphasis of meta paragraph, the heading would include emphasis of matter. Okay, yes sir. And the line would be the other extended heading would be basis of accounting and restriction on distribution and use. What we'll write here, sir? First of all, emphasis of meta paragraph. So we will draw users' attention to note in the financial statements. So we draw attention to the note 10 in the financial statement, which describes what, sir? Which describes basis of accounting. Now what we have to say, sir, in this particular particular said that these financial statements are prepared as per the FR provision of contract, which means as per special purpose framework. Secondly, that as a result, the financial statement may not be suitable for other purposes. And now we have to extend this particular paragraph. We also have to say that are reported solely for this specific users, and the reports cannot be distributed or used by other parties other than the specific users. And lastly, as per emphasis of meta paragraph, we have to write that our opinion is not modified in respect of this matter. This we have already discussed in your essay 706. Okay, yes sir, this was the draft paragraph, and this was everything about your essay 800. I hope it is very clear to you. And the thought we will do at the last. Now we are going to discuss about essay 805. Open your essay 805 in your concept book and let's have 2 sips of water. Then we are going to start with your essay 805. What they're talking about essay 805, sir, they are talking about in the essay 805 what special we are auditing. We are auditing, so suppose there is a complete set of financial statements. What is complete set of financial statements, sir? They have profit and loss account, they have balance sheet account, they have statement of changes in equity, they have cash flow statement, they have all notes to accounts in the financial statement. That is called a complete set of financial statements. And here we are auditing single financial statements. Single financial statement means what, sir? We are only auditing balance sheet, we are only auditing profit and loss account, we are only auditing cash flow statement, we are only auditing statement of changes in equity, or we are auditing specific element accounts or items of the financial statements. Which means what, sir? Suppose I'm only auditing cash, I'm only auditing trade receivables, I'm only auditing revenue, I'm only auditing inventory, then it is called a specific element accounts or items of financial statements. So here either I'm doing audit of SFS, that is single financial statements, or SEFS, that is specific elements or accounts or items of financial statements, then SA 805 is applicable in that particular case. Also obviously, sir, this SFS or SEFS can be prepared either on a general purpose framework basis or special purpose framework basis, and if they are prepared on a special purpose framework basis, then SA 800 will also be applicable in that particular case. Okay, yes sir. Now next they are saying that when I am auditing cash flow statement, then do I have to just audit cash flow statement? No sir, they also include their notes to accounts, policies and other information as well that is relevant to that particular SFS or SEFS. Okay, yes sir. Now there is an MCQ that is written over here. They are saying suppose a component auditor is preparing a report on the component financial statement based on the request of the consolidated financial statements auditor. Now will SA 805 be applicable over here? No sir, because SA 600 will be applicable over here. You just have to remember this thing because this can be asked in MCQ. Now likewise SA 800, this also essay has been divided in 3 parts. The first part is your accepting the engagement, then after accepting, performing the engagement, and lastly is your forming opinion. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about accepting the engagement. So here, while accepting the engagement, the first point that I have to check is whether we need to apply, whether we will be able to apply all the essays or not. We need to comply with all the essays, and if suppose I am not the auditor of complete set of financial statements, then will I be able to comply with the essays when I am auditing the SFS or SEFS? That I have to check. So they are saying if you are not the auditor of complete set of financial statements, you have to evaluate if the essays can be complied, and it may not be practical to comply with essays. Why sir? Why will it not be practical? Because the person, the auditor who had audited the complete set of financial statements is another auditor and I'm another auditor, so I may not have the same understanding of the entity and its environment and its internal control as that auditor. I may not know about, I have no evidence about the general quality of the accounting information, whether I can rely on that or not. So I will have to perform further audit procedure, I will have to obtain further evidence for the management's accounting records, and specifically I have to talk about SEFS. So the work on FEFS can be disproportionately very high compared to the benefit that I will be receiving from the work. For example, sir, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to say that the complete set of financial statements auditor has already done all the procedures from your essay 200 to a 700 series, so he knows the understanding better, he knows the entity better, he knows the accounting policies better, he knows the accounting records better. So if I am auditing that SFS or SEFS when I am not audited the complete set of financial statements, then it may so happen that I may have to perform many amount of work, multiple amounts of work that would not have been performed by that particular auditor. For example, sir, suppose I am doing the audit of SEFS, that is suppose I am taking trade receivables. Now in terms of trade receivables, I will have to take evidence on assertion, that is valuation. So when I am checking valuation, I have to check the recoverability of trade receivables. Now I will have to also assess the going concern of the entity. Why sir? So that we can check if the going concern is not present, which means the entity will not be able to recover the trade receivables. So which means what sir? Just for checking trade receivables, I have to perform a very big assessment, that is going concern. So when the work on SEFS may be disproportionate to the benefit that we will receive. So here these are the 4 reasons. Because of these 4 reasons, it may not be practical for me to comply with essays when I am not auditing the complete set set of financial statements. So indirectly they are saying that it is compulsory for the auditor that is auditing the complete set of financial statements. He can only audit your SFS and SEFS and no another auditor. Okay, yes sir. And here they are saying, suppose it is not practical to comply with SS, then you have to discuss with management for another type of engagement that may be more appropriate. You may ask the management that, okay, give us some non-assurance engagement, I will perform that. You may do that, but you cannot audit the SFS or SEFS. Okay, yes sir. Next is what, sir? This was the first point. Next point is same that we have discussed in SA 800, that is acceptability of FRF. We need to see whether because of the FRF, the adequate disclosures will allow the users to understand the information and its effect. Second, it may so happen that the FRF that is set by authorized standard setting organization for complete set of financial statement can be acceptable for your SFS or SEFS if it includes all the requirements of the SFS or SEFS. For example, sir, I am saying there is no separate financial FRF that is applicable for cash flow statement. And what I am doing, sir, I am using AS, Ind AS and the schedule 3. I am pulling out all the requirements related to cash flow statement from that particular general purpose FRF for the complete set of financial statements, and then I am preparing the SFS based on that FRF. Then it can be acceptable. Okay, yes sir. Now this is 2 points that we have to discuss in terms of engagement acceptance. The third point is planning and performing the audit. After accepting the engagement, what we will do, sir, we will adapt to all the relevant essays. All the relevant essays will be applicable over here. This is same as per SA 800. We will have to follow independence requirements, ethical requirements, and everything is same over here. If a particular essay is not applicable, then you need to perform alternative procedure. Specifically for SEFS, 3 essays are specifically applicable: essay 240, 550, 570, because our element can be misstated due to fraud, due to related party transaction, and due to going concerns inadequacy or inadequate disclosure, something like that. Now essay 260 comes over here. Essay 260 same as essay 800. You need to identify the appropriate person with which you need to communicate, because it may be the person having the oversight of over SFS or SEFS can be different from the person having oversight over complete set of financial statements. Okay, yes sir. Now here there are 3 points, main points that you have to write in your planning and performing audit as per SA 805. First point is your audit evidence. So whenever I was doing, since the audit of the complete financial statements and the SFS or SFS is same, so when I had already audited the complete financial statements, I have obtained audit evidence regarding everything. Now when I'm separately auditing trade receivables, can I use the same audit evidence that I have obtained in complete financial statements? Yes sir. This is the main important thing. So they are saying that you can use the audit evidence that you have obtained in complete set of financial statements audit, but you need to just ensure that you are obtaining sufficient and appropriate audit evidence for that SFS or SFS. Secondly, in terms of interrelation, what they are saying, sir, it may so happen that when you are auditing SFS or SFS, you may not consider them in isolation. Okay, I'm auditing trade receivables, so I will just perform procedure on trade receivable. It may not so be practicable. What you may need to perform, sir? You may need to perform procedures on interrelated item as well. For example, if you are auditing trade receivable, you may need to perform procedures on credit sales as well. Okay, yes sir. Next we need to see materiality. So complete set of financial statement is bigger, so their materiality will be bigger. SFS or SEFS is lower, so their materiality can be lower. And whenever the materiality is lower, you need to perform more procedures and you need to evaluate the uncorrected misstatement whether they are material or not as per SA 450. Okay, yes sir. Let's discuss it from the concept book, sir. Revision under revision. What we are talking about? We are talking about SA 805 that talks about SFS or SEFS. First of all, sir, SFS or SEFS can be as per general purpose framework, special purpose framework. If they are as per special purpose framework, then SA 800 also applies. SA 805 does not apply when the competent auditor is preparing a report at the request of the consolidated financial statements auditor. Okay, yes sir. And SFS and SEFS are different from your complete set of financial statements, and they also include the notes to summary of significant accounting policies and other information as well. Okay, yes sir. Now when I'm accepting such engagement, 2 things we have to check. First of all, the application of essays. SA 200 says that we need to comply with all the essays that is relevant to the audit. If we are not auditor of complete set of financial statements, then it may not be practicable for us to comply with the essays. Why it may not be practical for us, sir? Because of 3 reasons. 4 reasons. First of all, we do not have the same understanding of entity, its environments, and its internal control. We do not have any evidence regarding the general quality of accounting records. So we will have to need further audit evidence for the entity's accounting records. And lastly, sir, whatever work that we will be performing on SEFS will be disproportionate to the SEFS that is being audited. Okay, yes sir. And if you are concluding that because of this, your your essays complying with essays may not be possible, so you need to discuss with the management that any other type of engagement may be practicable and you can perform that engagement. Okay, yes sir. Second point is what, sir? Acceptability of FRF. So it may so happen that the FRF will provide, we need to see whether the FRF provide adequate disclosure so that the users can understand the information and the effect of material transaction and event. Secondly, secondly, it may so happen that the FRF established by authorized standard setting organization for complete set of financial statements is acceptable if it contains all the requirements that is relevant to your SFS or SEFS. And lastly, sir, now we are talking about planning and performing the audit. They told you that we need to adapt with all the relevant essays. Specifically in terms of SEFS, we have to talk about 3 essays, that is essay 240, 550, 570. They are relevant because the element can be misstated due to fraud, effect of related party transaction, and incorrect application. In essay 260, it talks about that the auditor need to determine appropriate person with which we need to communicate. Those responsible for the oversight of SFS or SEFS can be different from those responsible for oversight of complete set of financial statements. Okay, yes sir. Now here are 3 points that audit evidence should be interrelated with materiality. What I'm talking about, sir, audit evidence should be interrelated with materiality. Audit evidence means what, sir? All the audit evidence that you have obtained in complete set of audit that can be used while auditing the SFS or SEFS. Just you need to ensure that you have obtained sufficient and appropriate audit evidence for SFS or SEFS. Next, interrelation, sir. You may not consider SFS or SEFS in isolation. You may need to perform procedures or interrelated items as well. Next, they are saying in terms of materiality, sir, the materiality for SFS or SEFS can be lower than the materiality for complete set of financial statements, and this will affect the NT of procedures and the evaluation of uncorrected misstatements. Okay, yes sir. Now let's talk about the form of opinion or SFS or SEFS. What they are talking about, sir? They are talking about that the FRF, which is established by authorized standard setting organization for complete set of financial statements, may not provide about presentation regarding the SFS or SEFS, like what opinion we can give on SFS or SEFS. Therefore, we need to consider whether the expected form of opinion, the opinion that we are expecting to give, is appropriate as per AFRF or not. Okay. Yes, sir. Now they are saying that we need to consider whether we can use present fairly, that summary financial statements, SFS or SEFS present fairly as per the complete set of financial statements. Can we give that the summary for SFS or SEFS are give true and fair view? Can we use this wording or not in our opinion is our question is. And this wording can be used when, sir, when we are using a fair presentation framework. So what are the factors that will help us in determining, first of all, whether the FRF is restricted to the preparation of complete set of financial statements, and secondly, whether the SFS are prepared as per compliance framework or fair presentation framework. Compliance framework means what, the whether the SFS comply fully with the requirements of the framework, or for achieving fair presentation the disclosures beyond necessary are given, or the disclosures that are necessary are departed from in the framework. So we need to consider if this is the situation, then it is a fair presentation framework, and then we can use these phrases. Okay, yes sir. Now what is the expected form of opinion? That will depend on professional judgment. We need to apply SA 700 800 as adopted in the necessary. Next, in terms of going management responsibility decision should also be adopted. Now how it is adopted, that is not a concern to us. Next, the reports in which we have included the SFS or SEFS, and there is another information in the report which is for owners and similar stakeholders. Then with this we will consider this report as our annual report as per SA 720. This is same as per SA 800. Next, in terms of sign, it is same as per SA 700. 2 names and 3 numbers. 2 names with my name and my firm name, my membership number, firm registration number, and UDIN. Okay, yes sir. Sign is always same as per SA 700. Okay, yes sir. Now look at over here. This is very important, sir. Reporting is very important. What they are saying, sir, first of all, since I already told you that complete financial statements and SFS and SEFS, both the auditor would be same. So here they are talking about, but you will have to give separate opinion on each engagement. You cannot give one opinion on both the financial statements. You will have to give separate opinion on both the financial statements. However, the SFS and SEFS can be published together with complete set of financial statements, but they should be sufficiently differentiated. The presentation should be sufficiently differentiated, so that the users of financial statements can understand, okay, these are the page numbers of complete set of financial statements, these are the page number of SFS or SEFS. If you think that the differentiation is complete, like the presentation is not sufficiently differentiated, then you need to ask the management to rectify the differentiation, and unless you are satisfied with the differentiation, you need to not issue your audit report on the SFS or SEFS. Okay, yes sir. Next is what, sir? Now this is important, sir. They are saying when we are auditing the complete set of financial statements, we have given them qualified opinion, or we have included emphasis on meta paragraph, other meta paragraph, murg or uncorrected material misstatement of other information as per SA 720. Then we need to see whether these matter have any implication on the audit of SFS or SEFS, whether they are relevant on the audit of SFS or SEFS. How we'll check, sir? What are the factors that will help us in determining? First of all, sir, we need to see the nature of matter and how it is related to SFS or SEFS, and we need to see the pervasiveness of matter. These 2 things we will see of the matter. Next, we will see the difference. What is the difference between the AFRF and the period covered between the SFS and the complete set of financial statements? And last, in terms of period covered, we need to see the time that has elapsed from the audit report on the complete set of financial statements. These 5 factors we will consider to see whether these particular things, whether these particular paragraph have any implication on the audit of SFS or SEFS, which means whether they are relevant on audit of SFS or SEFS. Now, even after considering all this paragraph, if we think that they are not relevant, they have no implication, then even if we want to refer to those paragraph in our report on SFS or SEFS, yes, we can do that in other matter paragraph. What I told you, sir, other matter paragraph. Why, sir? Because these all things are disclosed in auditor's report, not in financial statements. Okay, yes sir. And last last thing that they are talking about, this is also very important. Suppose in the complete set of, when I was auditing complete set of financial statements, I have given adverse or disclaimer of opinion, which means our misstatement can be material as well as pervasive. So can I give an unmodified opinion or SFS or SEFS? No sir. Why? The misstatement is pervasive, so it is spreaded in the financial statement. So I cannot say that this SFS or SEFS does not have a misstatement. I cannot say that. So yes, no, I cannot give an unmodified opinion or SFS or SEFS. But what is but sir? But is SEFS. They are saying that yes, in FEFS you can give an unmodified opinion if all the three conditions are present, if all the three conditions are fulfilled. What are the three conditions? First of all, it is not be prohibited by law and regulation. Secondly, the opinion is like both the financial statements should not be published together. Here I allowed that they can be published together, but now in this particular case they should not be published together. And lastly, the SEFS should not constitute major portion of the complete set of financial statement, which means what, sir? Suppose I am auditing an SEFS of trade receivables, and in the trade receivables I am thinking that I can give unmodified opinion while I have given adverse or disclaimer in the complete set of financial statements, and the trade receivable is representing 60% of the financial statement, which means what? It is major portion of the financial statement. Then I cannot give an unmodified opinion on that SEFS. Okay, yes sir. Do remember this particular conditions are only applicable in case of SEFS, not SFS. Why, sir? Because FFS is deemed to constitute major portion of the complete set of financial statements. Therefore, we cannot give an unmodified opinion in SFS in any case. Okay, yes, sir. Lastly, there is one very ajeeb, one very unique kind of, one very different kind of a line that is given by ICI, and there can be two interpretation of that different line. You can definitely, I will tell you both the interpretation, and you can apply any of the interpretation in the exam that is applicable. So they are saying, suppose I am auditing complete set of financial statements, and while auditing complete set of financial statements, I got to know that I am not having any evidence regarding the P&L or the cash flow statement. So I can give, but I am having audit evidence regarding the balance sheet. So I can give two opinions. So I can split my opinion into two in that particular audit report itself. What I will say, sir, I can give disclaimer of opinion on results of operation, that is P&L and cash flow statement, and I can also give unmodified opinion on state of affairs, that is balance sheet. This is permitted. This is one interpretation. The second interpretation is, suppose I am auditing SFS, that is balance sheet. Now, even we are seeing the complete set of financial statements, we have already given disclaimer of opinion on that. But why disclaimer of opinion was given? Because I was not able to obtain audit evidence regarding P&L and cash flow statement. So can I give unmodified opinion in balance sheet when I am auditing it as a single financial statements? Yes, this is permitted. So these are the two interpretation, and you can use any of the interpretation if this question comes in exam. Okay, yes sir. This was everything about SA 805. Let's discuss it from the concept book, revision under revision. What we are talking about, sir? We are talking about form of opinion. They are saying that the FRF, it may so happen that the FRF does not provide regarding the presentation of SFS or FCFS, and this is applicable when the FRF is established by authorized standard setting organization for preparation of complete set of financial statements. So in this particular situation, auditor consider whether the expected form of opinion is appropriate as per FRF or not. Next, what are the factors that can affect the users in helping whether we can use the phrases present fairly in all material aspects, give true and fair view or not, which means whether you can use the phrases of fair presentation framework or not. So what are the factors? First of all, we need to say whether the FRF is restricted to preparation of complete set of financial statements, and whether the SFS or SAFS are prepared as per a compliance framework or fair presentation framework. Compliance framework means what? Does they comply fully with the requirements of the framework, or secondly, if necessary to achieve fair presentation, they provide disclosures beyond what is necessary, and they are also departing from the requirement of the framework. Okay, yes sir. And the expected form of opinion is auditor's professional judgment. Perfect. Now this is important point for you. Forming opinion and reporting consideration, we need to apply SA 700, 800 adopted as necessary. In going concern, we need to describe management responsibility adopted as necessary. In terms of reports that contain SFS or SAFS and also contains other information for owners and similar stakeholders, then we need to consider this report as annual report as per SA 720. Next, in terms of sign, my name, firm name, my signature, my membership number, firm registration number, and UDIN. Okay, yes sir. Now they are talking about if there is a matter in a complete set of financial statements, will it have any implication on your audit of SFS or SAFS? Now what are the factors that can help us in deciding? First of all, we see the matter, that is the nature of the matter and the pervasiveness of the matter. Then we see the difference, that is the difference between AFRF and the period covered, and we see the time elapsed from the date of the complete set of financial statements. Now, even if the matter is not having any implication on the report on the summary on the SFS or SEFS, then also you can refer to that particular matter in your other matter paragraph. Okay, yes sir. Now, if the auditor of SFS and SEFS and the auditor of complete set of financial statement is same, then we can explain. Then we will have to explain separate opinion on each engagement. Audited financial statements SFS or SEFS can be published together with the complete set of financial statements. But if the presentation of SFS or SEFS is not differentiated from the complete set of financial statement, then the auditor will ask the management to rectify are the same, and unless the auditor is satisfied, he will not issue the audit report. Okay, yes sir. Now they are saying if the opinion on the complete set of financial statement is qualified, or it includes EOM, OM paragraph, MURG, or statement of uncorrected material, misstatement of other information, then we need to determine their implication on the audit of SFS or SEFS based on these factors. Okay, yes sir. Next they are saying that if the opinion on complete set of financial statement adverse or disclaimer, then as per SA 705 we are not permitted to include other undisclosed unmodified opinion or SFS or SEFS, but in the SEFS case we can include an unmodified opinion if all three conditions are fulfilled. First, it is not prohibited by law and regulation, it is not published together, and it does not constitute major portion of the financial statement. And this above exception is not applicable for SFS because it is deemed to constitute major portion of the financial statements. And lastly, what they are saying, sir, they are saying that suppose in a report on audited complete set of financial statements you have given disclaimer of opinion on profit and loss and cash flow statement, then you can give the unmodified opinion on balance sheet. Okay, yes sir. This last question that we have to do from our question bank, sir, this is our question bank. The way you are seeing the question bank in your screen, the way it is the same way that you will be getting a printed version of the color question. The question bank is fully color coded, and the question is also highlighted, the answer is also highlighted, the source is also highlighted, and the question bank is prepared in a concept wise sequence format. So once you do a concept from the concept book, then you can do the particular questions of that particular concept so that you are able to recall and revise better way. And secondly, sir, we have also divided the question bank in two parts, that is part 1 and part 2. Part 1 has all the interpretational question, analytical question, tricky questions which can involve more time, and ICI is definitely going to ask those questions. And part 2 has all the direct question, like you can directly read the last line and you can get to know what the ICI is asking. So part 2 questions are separate question bank. You can definitely skip the part 2 question bank as well so that you can save your time on part 1 question bank. This is the way that we are going to make you study audit, and this is the quality that we are providing you in all the resources. So here we are talking about SA 805, and here we are talking about question number 3, which is asked in your November 24 exams and May 26 MTP. What is the question asking, sir? They are saying that you are the statutory auditor for a particular company for a complete set of financial statements. Now the company is also asked you to audit a PPE. Since we are auditing PPE, which means we are auditing SEFS. Now here in this particular case, when we are drafting the audit report for complete set of financial statements, you give this adverse opinion. Now when we are auditing the complete PPE, that is SEFS, we wanted to give unmodified opinion. Now you have to comment with reference to the essays, what is the opinion, what is the option that with which we can give our unmodified opinion. So here in this particular case, we will say first of all, as per SA 805, we cannot give an unmodified opinion when we have adverse or disclaimer of opinion on the complete set of financial statements, but we can give if these three conditions are fulfilled. And lastly, we will say that yes, you can give unmodified opinion if these three conditions are fulfilled. Okay, yes sir. So this is how we make you do a particular question from your question bank, and this was everything regarding your SA 805. We will be discussing this quote at the end. So now let's start with your SA 810, which talks about your summary financial statement. Let's have 2 sips of water and then start with our SA 810. And if you're liking this lecture, then please do like the lecture as well, video as well, so that the YouTube spreads it to multiple students. Okay, suppose let's start with that summary financial statement. What is the summary financial statement? So basically, summary financial statements are derived from your audited financial statements. Audited financial statements are big financial statements, and then we have a summary financial statement which is derived from the audited financial statement. This summary financial statements contains aggregated information, cumulative information, and limited disclosures from the some audited financial statements. Okay, yes sir. Now suppose I am the auditor of the audited financial statements, then the auditor of the summary financial statements, they both will have to be the same? Yes. As per SA 810, the auditor of the summary financial statements as well as the auditor of the audited financial statements, they need to be the same. They are mandatory. So SA 800, it is not mandatory. SA 805, SA 810, it is mandatory. Okay, yes sir. And obviously summary financial statements, since they are summary, so they contain less details than the audited financial statements, but they are providing structured representation of your audited financial statements. They also have a balance sheet, P&Ls, cash flow statement, though they are not unstructured, they are structured representation. Okay, yes sir, this was the intro. Now we are talking about 3 phases, that is engagement, acceptance, planning and performing, and forming an opinion. First of all, let's talk about engagement acceptance. As I already told you, sir, we can only accept this engagement when we are the auditor of the audited financial statements, because otherwise we do not have any knowledge to discharge our responsibility. Okay, yes sir. Now before accepting the engagement, we have to check 3 things. The first thing will be your whether the FRF is acceptable or not. The same thing that we have checked in SA 800 and 805, but here the term FRF will not be used. Here the term applied criteria is used. So here there is an applied criteria based on which we have prepared the summary financial statements. Now we have to check whether this applied criteria is acceptable or not. What we have to check, sir, we need to check whether management is responsible. Here it is management responsibility, and this particular thing will be reported in your opinion section. This is the opinion wording that we will give, that summary financial statements are consistent in all material respects as per the audited financial statements or summary financial statements represent fair summary of the audited financial statements as per the applied criteria. So management is responsible for ensuring that the summary financial statements are consistent and represent fair summary of audited financial statements. Now, summary financial statements contains aggregated information, limited disclosure. So it may so happen that there is an increased risk that the summary financial statements do not include necessary information, which means the summary financial statements can be misleading, and this risk increases when there is no criteria. Criteria does not exist. And now we have to evaluate whether the criteria is acceptable or not. Then how we will evaluate, sir? There are four things. First of all, we need to see the nature of entity. Then we see the purpose of summary financial statement, what are the users of summary financial statements, and lastly, whether the summary financial statements would not be misleading based on this particular criteria. Then we say that yes, this criteria is acceptable. Now suppose there is a criteria that is established by authorized standard setting organization or prescribed by law and regulation, that it is presumed to be acceptable. Suppose there is no criteria, then the criteria is developed by management. Okay, yes sir. Now suppose we see that the criteria, we evaluated the criteria and we think that the criteria are not acceptable, or suppose the management is not understanding its responsibility, not agreeing on the responsibility part, then what we will do, sir? We will not accept this particular engagement unless it is required by law and regulation. Now suppose the law and regulation is asking me to accept this particular engagement, then I will say that I am not complying with essays, because as per essays I should not have accepted this engagement. So if I am accepting, I will say in my report that I am not complying with the essays, and this particular thing I will also include in terms of engagement so that I can agree with the management that I am going to disclose this in my auditor's report. Okay, yes sir, this is going to the thing. And lastly, the summary financial statement should be adequate disclosed, and the title of summary financial statement should include summary financial statements prepared from audited financial statements. Why, sir? So that the users know that it is a summary financial statement that is prepared from the audited financial statements. Which means what, sir? We give the heading like summary balance sheet, summarize profit and loss account, summarize cash flow statement, so that the users know. This was the first point in while accepting the engagement, that is checking whether the applied criteria is acceptable or not. The second point is whether the management acknowledges and understands its responsibility. This is same as per SS 210. We will discuss whether the management knows its responsibility for preparing the summary financial statements as per the criteria. Second, whether the management knows their responsibility that in the report on the summary financial statements, that is containing the document of the summary financial statements, they will also have to attach my auditor's report on summary financial statement. Which means what, sir? Whenever they are distributing the summary financial statements, they will also have to attach my report on summary financial statements, and they will have to describe that the auditor has reported on summary financial statement. This is management responsibility. They should acknowledge their responsibility. And third, they are saying that the audited financial statements from which the summary financial statements are described, we need to ensure that the audited financial statements are also available to users of summary financial statements without undue difficulty. Why, sir? Because if the users is reading summary financial statements and the users think that I need to know more details about this particular thing, then they can get more details from your audited financial statements. Therefore, the audited financial statement should be available to the users of summary financial statements. Now, what are the factors that will help us in determining whether the audited financial statements are available or not? First of all, either in the summary financial, the management can describe from whom or where the audited financial statement will be available to the users, or the audited financial statements are already on public record. Suppose they are on the website of the entity, or it may so happen that the management has established a process to access the audited financial statements by the users of summary financial statements. Either of the three can be situation which the management can make available audited financial statements to the users of summary financial statements. But there can be also one situation that the law and regulation is saying that the audited financial statement need not be available to the users of summary financial statements. In that particular case, what will happen, sir? The management will write in the summary financial statements that the law and regulation is saying us not to be making available the audited financial statements. That's why we're not making available audited financial statements. Okay, yes sir. This is the second point, that the management agrees its responsibility. And the last point is we need to agree with the management regarding the form of opinion that we are expecting to issue on summary financial statements. Okay, yes sir. Now we are talking about the third point. Basically, this first phase is over. Now we have accepted the engagement. Now we are talking about the second point, that is nature of procedures that we need to perform on summary financial statements. There are 7 procedures. How we will remember, sir? We will remember in 2 categories. First of all, we need to check whether the summary financial adequately disclose these 3 things. But the first thing is about their summarized nature, and they identify the audited financial statement. Second is they disclose the applied criteria, and the summary financial statements are prepared as per the criteria. And the third thing is they disclose all the necessary information so that they are not misleading. Okay, yes sir. Next, we have to check the audited financial statements, that whether the audited financial statements are available to the users of summary financial statements unless required by law and regulation. Secondly, if the summary financial statement is not accompanied by audited financial statements, then we need to describe in the summary financial statements from whom and where the audited financial statements can be made available, or whether the summary financial statement describes the law and regulation that says that they need not be made available to the users of summary financial statements. Okay, yes sir. And lastly, we have to compare the summary financial statements with the audited financial statements to see whether they agree with the audited financial statements, or summary financial statements can be recalculated separated from audited financial statements or not. These are the procedures. These 7 are the procedures that we will perform on summary financial statement. This is the important question that can be asked from SA 810. Okay, yes sir. Let's discuss it from the concept book, sir. What we are talking about? We are talking about SA 810, that is summary financial statement. That talks about what, sir? We are preparing report on summary financial statements, and it should be from the same auditor that has prepared the report on audited financial statements. What is summary financial statement, sir? Summary financial statement is basically information that is derived from the financial statement and that contains less details from the financial statement, but they are in structured representation consistent with the audited financial statements. Next, engagement acceptance. We can only accept this particular engagement when we are the auditor of audited financial statement, because without that we do not have necessary knowledge for discharging our responsibilities. Now, before accepting the engagement, what we have to do, sir? First of all, we have to, this is very important, that we need to determine whether the applied criteria is acceptable or not. We will not say FRF, we will say applied criteria. So here management is responsible for applying criteria so that the summary financial statement are consistent or represent fair summary of the audited financial statements. Now, because the summary financial statements contain aggregated information and limited disclosure, there is an increased risk that they may not contain necessary information and they can be misleading, and the risk is increases further when the criteria is not existing. Now, what are the factors that can help us in determining whether the applied criteria is acceptable or not? First of all, the nature of entity, what is the purpose and what are the information needs of the users, and lastly, whether the summary financial statements will not be misleading because of the criteria. Now, if the criteria is established by authorized standard setting organization or it is set by law and regulation, then it is presumed acceptable. If the criteria does not exist, then management will have to develop their own criteria. Now, if the applied criteria is unacceptable or the auditor is unable to obtain agreement of management regarding the responsibility, then we should not accept this particular engagement unless required by law and regulation. And if we are accepting this engagement because it is required by law and regulation, then we should state in our report that we are not complying with SAs, and this should be also included in your terms of engagement. Okay, yes sir. And lastly, there should be adequate disclosure of summary financial statements and identity of audited financial statements, and the title should be such that summary financial statements are prepared from audited financial statements. Okay, yes sir. This is our first point while accepting the engagement. The second point is what, sir? We need to obtain agreement of management regarding the acknowledgement and understanding of its responsibility. What is its responsibility, sir? To prepare summary financial statements as per the criteria. Next, to include the auditor's report on summary financial statement in a document that contains the summary financial statement, or also to state that the auditor has reported on them. Third, to make audited financial statements available to the users of summary financial statements without any undue difficulty, or describe the law and regulation that says that the summary financial audited financial statements need not be made available to the users of summary financial statements. Now, what are the factors that can help us in decide whether the audited financial statements are available or not, sir? First of all, we need to see whether the summary financial statement describes from whom and where the audited financial statements can be made available, or the audited financial statements are already on public record, or the management has established a process by which the users of summary financial statements can access the audited financial statements. Now, the third thing that we have to check is we have to agree with the management regarding the form of opinion that we will be issuing on our summary financial statements. Okay, yes sir. This was everything regarding your engagement acceptance. Now we are talking about the nature of procedures. This is important, sir. Nature of procedure, what they are talking, sir. First of all, we need to evaluate the summary financial statement disclosures. So we need to evaluate whether they disclose the summarized nature, identity of audited financial statement, whether they are disclose the criteria, and whether they are prepared as per the criteria, whether they disclose necessary information so that they are not misleading. In terms of audited financial statement, whether they are available to the users of summary financial statements, and if they are not accompanied, we need to describe whether from whom and where the audited financial statements can be available, or the law and regulation that says that audited financial statements cannot be made available. And we need to compare the summary financial statements with the audited financial statement to check if they agree, and that can be whether they can be recalculated from the audited financial statements. You need to add this line in your concept book. Okay, yes sir. Now we are talking about forming the opinion. So what they are saying, sir, let's have 2 sips of water and then we talk about the form of opinion. Okay. So in terms of form of opinion, they're saying that you can use either of the 2 phases when you are using unmodified opinion on your summary financial statement. What are the 2 cases, sir? The first case is summary financial statement are consistent in all material respects with the audited financial statements as per applied criteria, or summary financial statements are fair summary of audited financial statements as per the applied criteria. You can use either of the 2 phases. Now here, if the law and regulation prescribes a different wording in the opinion section, that what we will do, sir? We may need to perform further procedures so that we are able to express his opinion, or if we think that because of this wording the user might misunderstanding our opinion, then we can also include a more explanation in our auditor's report. But if we think that the explanation cannot mitigate this misunderstanding, then we should not accept this particular audit engagement unless it is required by law and regulation. And if I am accepting this particular engagement because it is required by law and regulation, then I need to state in my report that we are not complying with SAs. Okay, yes sir. Next is what, sir? Suppose if your audited financial statements includes a paragraph which says alerting the readers for basis of accounting accounting and restriction on distribution or use, which means the paragraph as per 800, then you need to include the same paragraph in your summary financial statement as well. Next is, sir, in terms of comparative SA 710, what they're talking about, suppose audited financial statements include the comparative information, but the summary financial statement does not, then you need to see whether the omission is reasonable, and if it is unreasonable, then we need to see the effect on report. Suppose the comparative financial statements is audited by another auditor, then the disclaimer that we include in our auditor's report on audited financial statements in as per SA 710, what is the disclaimer that we include, sir? That the prior period financial statements is audited by predecessor auditor, what is the type of opinion, what is the date of their report, that same reporting, that same matters we need to include in our report on summary financial statements as well. Okay, yes, sir. Next is what, sir? Next is also important. This is important, sir. This is the most important question. They are asking, sir, in suppose audited financial statements, when I was auditing audited financial statements, I have given qualified opinion, EM, OM, MURG, CAM or 720 paragraph, but the summary financial statements are consistent with the audited financial statements. Now what I will say, sir, I will say, first of all, I will state in my audit report on summary financial statements that the audited financial statements contains either of these paragraph, whichever paragraph I will state that. Next, I will describe the basis for qualified opinion or what was that particular matter, and then I will state their effect on summary financial statement, whether they have any effect on summary financial statement, I will state that. And if in case of a 720, I will state their effect on document containing summary financial statement, which means if there is uncorrected material misstatement and other information, I will see whether there is any effect on the other information of summary financial statements or not. Okay, yes, sir. This is the thing when there is a qualified opinion or other matters. Qualified opinion means what, sir? Misstatement is material but not pervasive. But what if in the auditor's financial statements, when we audited the financial statements, we have issued adverse or disclaimer of opinion, which means the misstatement is material and pervasive. What in that case, sir? In that case, we need to state the two things is obviously same. We need to state that in our auditor's report that audited financial statements contains above opinion. We need to describe the basis for adverse opinion, disclaimer of opinion, and then we need to say that it is inappropriate for us to express opinion on summary financial statements. We are not issuing any opinion on summary financial statements because audited financial statements has these both things. Okay, yes, sir. Next is what, sir? Next they are saying, suppose you think that the summary financial statements are not consistent with audited financial statements and the management is not agreeing to make the changes, then we need to express adverse opinion on summary financial statements. Directly adverse, no qualified, no disclaimer, directly adverse opinion. Okay, yes, sir. Now you will have to revise your essays. Now there is a revision of essays. They are saying, suppose there is an unaudited supplementary information that is presented with the financial statements. Supplementary information means what, sir? Extra of your FRF that is not required as per FRF. This we have discussed in SA 700. So if there is unaudited supplementary information, you need to check whether it is clearly differentiated for summary financial statements. If you think that it is not clearly differentiated, you need to ask the management to change the presentation, and if the management refuses, then you need to explain in your report that this supplementary information is unaudited. Okay, yes, sir. Next, what about other information in the documents containing summary financial statement that talks about SA 720? So same as per SA 720, we need to read the other information. We need to check whether there is any material inconsistency between the other information and the summary financial statements. Next, if there is material inconsistency, then we need to determine whether other information or the summary financial statements needs revision. If we think other information needs revision, then we need to discuss with the management. If the management refuses, then we need to see the implications on our report. Okay, yes, sir. Now there is two more important points that we have to discuss. These are the two most important points in your SA 810, that is subsequent events and is your auditor association. What is subsequent events, sir? These are the events that is occurring after the date of auditor's report on audited financial statements. So what they are saying, sir, suppose you are preparing a report on summary financial statement which is after the report on audited financial statements. Now what about the events that is happening after the report on audited financial statements? Do I have to maintain any audit evidences? Do I have to consider the effects? So they are saying no. They are saying that the auditor is not required to obtain additional audit evidence on the audited financial statements. We are all not required to report any effects of the events that is happening subsequent to the report on the audited financial statements. Which means what, sir? This is basically means suppose your audited financial statements reporting is on 30th May and you have issued your report on summary financial statements on 30th June, which is after the report on audited financial statements. Now whatever the event has happened after the date of report on audited financial statements, these events you did not need to consider in your summary financial statements and you do not need to report in your this report as well. Why, sir? Because summary financial statements are summary of audited financial statements and audited financial statements contains events only up to this date and not date thereafter. Okay, yes, sir. That's why you don't have to do any of these things. And like next, since you are not doing anything, so you have to report in your summary financial statements a statement. The statement should state that the summary financial statements and the audited financial statements do not reflect effects of events that occurred after subsequent to the date of report on audited financial statements. Okay, yes, sir. But what is but, sir? This is very important. But they are saying, suppose You are the auditor of audited financial statements. You have issued the report on 30th May. You are planning to issue the report on summary financial statements. Now, on this date, you got to know about a fact. Like after the date of audit report, you got to know about a fact that had been known to the earlier auditor at the earlier date. Then the auditor would have amended the report. Now you will have to perform the procedures as per SA 516. Need to discuss with the management, check with the financial statements in amendment. If they need the amendment, then you need to make the changes and like everything, everything you need to perform 560 as per procedure. You need to perform. So now they are saying since you have to follow 560, so you have to perform first of all the procedures as per 550, and only after that you can give your audit report on summary financial statements. So what they are saying, sir, suppose you became aware about the fact that it existed at the date of the report on audited financial statements, then you should not issue your report on summary financial statements until you consider those facts as per SA 560. Okay, yes, sir. This was a subsequent event. And lastly, it talks about auditor association. There are two cases in auditor association. What are the two cases? First case is I have audited the summary financial statements. I have provided my report on summary financial statements, and entities also including a statement in summary financial statements that they are audited by the auditor. But the entity is not sending the summary financial statements with the auditor's report. The entity is just sending the summary financial statement. They are not including my auditor's report in the document containing summary financial statements. This was management responsibility that we had already discussed earlier. So if the document containing summary financial statements does not include auditor's report, we need to request the management. If the management is not including that auditor's report, then we need to stop the management from inappropriately associating the auditor with summary financial statements. You are doing a very big mistake. You are mistakenly, wrongly in associating with me with your summary financial statement. If you want to associate me with your summary financial statements, you need to include my report of summary financial statements with the summary financial statement as well. Okay? Yes, sir. This is the one situation. The second situation is I have audited the audited financial statements, but I have not audited the summary financial statements. So this is not possible. You have already told me that the auditor of both the things should be the same. But what if no one has audited the summary financial statement? It may so happen. So in this particular case, what is the management trying to do, sir? Management is very clever. Management is trying to be very clever. What they are trying to say, sir, they are giving a document. In this document, they have included audited financial statements, they have included summary financial statements, and they have included my auditor's report on audited financial statements. And now the management is saying they are referring to the auditor. They are saying that the auditor has audited the financial statements, and then they are also saying that the summary financial statements are derived from the audited financial statement, which means they are trying to give an impression that the auditor has also reported on summary financial statement, which is not the case. So here, if the management is referring to the auditors in the document containing all the financial statements and the auditor's report, or the management is saying that stating that the summary financial statements are derived from the audited financial statements, then we need to be satisfied about two things. First of all, this reference is for only audited financial statements and not summary financial statements. And secondly, this statement should not create an impression on the part of users that we have reported on summary financial statements. And if we are not satisfied with either of the two, then we need to request the management to either change this statement, to remove this reference, or to engage us to audit the summary financial statements, and then you can refer us in summary financial statements. But if the management is not doing any of these things, then we need to prevent the management from inappropriately associating the auditor to summary financial statements. Okay, yes, sir. This was everything about your SA 810. Let's discuss it from the concept book. We have to also discuss the elements of report, and next we will be discussing a MCQ at the end of the video, and you will have to answer, so please wait till last. So now let's discuss it from the concept book, sir. What we are talking about? We are talking about form of opinion. They are saying when we issue an unmodified opinion on summary financial statements, then we can use either of the phrases. We can say, we will discuss draft paragraph as well, don't worry about it. So either we can say summary financial statements are consistent in all material respect with audited financial statements as per the applied criteria, or we can say that summary financial statements are fair summary of the audited financial statements as per the applied criteria. Now, if the law and regulation prescribe their own wording, then what we can do, we can apply procedures, and we can also we can do further procedures, and we can be short of giving that particular wording. But if we think that because of the particular wording the users might misunderstanding our opinion, then we can include additional explanation. And if we think that the additional explanation cannot mitigate the misunderstanding, then we should not accept this particular audit engagement unless required by law and regulation. And if we are accepting that particular engagement because it is required by law and regulation, then we need to state in our report that we are not complying with essays. Okay, yes, sir. If there is a paragraph that is included in audited financial statement regarding the restriction on distribution or use or alerting the results regarding the basis of accounting, which means as per SA 800, if there is a paragraph, then you need to include the same paragraph in the financial summary financial statements as well. Okay, yes, sir. In terms of comparatives, sir, suppose audited financial statements contains comparative, but summary financial statement do not contain the comparative, then you need to see whether this omission is reasonable. If it is unreasonable, then you need to evaluate its effect on the audit report. Next, if they are saying that summary financial statements contain comparative that are reported by another auditor, then you have to give the same disclosure that is required by the as per SA 710 in your other matter paragraph. Okay, yes, sir. Next, this is important, sir, regarding the modification paragraph. They are saying that if the audited financial statements contain qualified opinion, paragraph of Murga Cam, statement of uncorrected material, misstatement of other information, but we are satisfied that the summary financial statement are consistent. Then what we have to do, sir, we have to state in our report that the audited financial statements contain these things. We need to describe the basis for qualified opinion, and we need to describe the matter that contained more Cam statement of the uncorrected material misstatement, and then we have to also state the effect of these matters on summary financial statements or documents containing summary financial statements. Okay, yes, sir. What if, this is important, sir, what if the report on audited financial statements contains adverse or disclaimer of opinion? Then we need to say, sir, that the report on audited financial statements contain these opinion. What is the basis of these opinion? And because of these opinion, it is inappropriate to express opinion on summary financial statements. We are not issuing any opinion on summary financial statements. Okay, yes, sir. Next is what, sir, regarding modified opinion. They are saying, suppose if summary financial statement is not consistent with audited financial statements and management is also not agreeing to make any changes, then we need to express adverse opinion. No qualified, no disclaimer, directly adverse. Okay, yes, sir. Let's discuss draft paragraph of summary financial statements from the Mahasmart Marathon booklet that is given at the end of the concept book. As I already told you that we have included everything that is relevant from Mahasmart Marathon in your concept book itself. So at the end of the concept book, go to page number 17, and here we will be discussing about opinion paragraph, and this is not given by ICI but can be asked by ICI for drafting. So all the paragraph that can be asked for drafting, we have already included in our concept book. So here if we have to give unmodified opinion, we will give that particular statement, the first paragraph in the opinion section that we have discussed in the SA700 series. This particular paragraph, all these 5 points we have to write as it is in your SA810 series as well, and all the 4 points in your basis for paragraph we have to write as it is in your SA810 series as well. Yes, sir, this is very important. So this first paragraph will be the same, but the opinion will change. In our opinion, the accompanying summary financial statements are consistent in all material respects or are fair summary of the audited financial statement. This is how we have to write it. And in basis for unmodified opinion section, the four paragraph will 4 lines will be the same, and in case of modification we will have to evaluate the effect of the matter just like we do in SA700 series. Okay, yes, sir, this was a draft paragraphs. Next is what, sir? Next we are talking about unaudited supplementary information. We need to see whether it is clearly differentiated. If it is not, then we need to explain in our report that it is not audited by auditor. Next, in terms of other information, we need to check, we need to read, then we need to see whether there is a material inconsistency between other information and the summary financial statement. If it is, then we need to see whether it is a material check, what needs revision, other information or summary financial statements. If other information, then we need to ask the management. If management refuses, then we need to see its implication on our report. Okay, yes, sir. What about those events that occur subsequent to the date of the auditor's report on audited financial statements? Do we have to consider that? It says that auditor is not required to obtain additional audit evidence on audited financial statements, and we are not required to report on the effects of the event that occur after the date of the auditor's financial statements. In such cases, our report on the summary financial statement should state that the summary financial statements and the audited financial statement do not reflect events or effects of events that occurred after the date of report on audited financial statements. But if a fact become known to the auditor after the date of audit report that had been known to the auditor on that date would have caused the amend to auditor or commend the auditor's report, then the auditor should explain or should address that fact as per SA 560, and until we do that, we should not issue our report on summary financial statements. Okay, yes, sir. Now let's talk about auditor association. There are 2 cases. The first case is what, sir? We are planning to state in our auditor report that the entity is planning to state in auditor's report that we have audit reported on summary financial statements, but in the documents containing summary financial statement, the entity is not planning to include the auditor's report on summary financial statement. So we should request the entity to please include the report. Now, if the management is not including the report, then we need to carry out appropriate action so that we can prevent the management from wrongly associating us with the summary financial statement. The second thing is what, sir? We are just the auditor of the audited financial statements, and we are not the auditor of summary financial statements. Now, the entity is planning to make it in a document containing audited financial statements, summary financial statements, and the audited report on audited financial statements. The entity is planning to refer to the auditor, and the entity is also giving a statement that the summary financial statements are derived from the financial statements audited by the auditor. Then we need to be satisfied that the reference to auditor is only for the audited financial statements, and the statement is not giving the impression to the users that the auditor is reported on summary financial statements. If either of the 2 is not met, then the auditor should request the management to either change the statement, remove the reference, or engage the auditor to audit a summary financial statements. And if the management is not doing any of the thing, then we need to take appropriate action so that we can prevent the management from inappropriately referring to the auditor, inappropriately associating the auditor. Okay, yes, sir. Now comes the last topic, that is your elements of report on summary financial statement. Just like we discussed in SA700, what are the basic elements of reporting? Here we are discussing in case of summary financial statement, what will be the elements of report? What will be the elements of report? First of all, the title that will indicate that we are the independent auditor. In terms of addressee, the addressee of the summary financial statement can be different from the addressee of the audited financial statement. So you will have have to check whether the appropriate addressee is used or not. How we will check, sir? We will see terms of engagement, nature of entity, and purpose of summary financial statements. Next, we will identify the summary financial statement, including title of each statement. And if the summary financial statement including the document that contains other information, then we will also identify the page number that contains those summary financial statements. Next, sir, we will identify the audited financial statements. If required, we will state that the summary financial statements and audited financial statement do not reflect events that has occurred subsequent to the date of audit report on audited financial statements. Then we will refer to the report on the audited financial statements as well. We will say the date of report and fact that the unmodified opinion is expressed on the auditor's financial statements. What if unmodified opinion is not expressed? We have already discussed that particular point. Next, we will give the biggest disclaimer in our report that the statement that the summary financial statements do not contain all the disclosures as in audited financial statements. So when you are reading summary financial statement, it is not a substitute as reading an audited financial statement because it contains more disclosures. Okay, yes sir. We will describe management responsibility. We will describe our responsibility, that is to opinion, express an opinion. We will express our opinion. Then we will sign in terms of two names, that is my name, firm name, in terms of 3 number, my membership number, firm registration number, and your UDIN. And lastly, sir, in terms of date of report, the 3 conditions that are same as per SS 700, that all the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence we have got, summary financial statements are prepared, and those who have responsibility have taken the responsibility for preparing the summary financial statements. And lastly, one more condition is present, that the date of report on audited financial statements should all already passed, which means what, sir? First, we need to give the auditor's report on audited financial statements, and only after that we can give a report on summary financial statements. Okay, yes sir. And lastly, we have to tell about the place of signature. This was everything about your SS 800 series, and now we are going to discuss one MCQ that you have to answer in the comment box. Let's see which students can answer this correctly. So here we are talking about ABC company is a statutory auditor of this particular company, and apart from the statutory auditor, we have accepted the following engagements. Okay, chaliye. They are saying, at the request of the company's consortium bankers, the auditor was engaged to express an opinion only on the trade receivable balance. Okay. Now, during the engagement, we noted that there was an expected credit loss provision, which means provision for doubtful debts relating to trade receivables from government customers had been materially understated. The remaining trade receivables were fairly stated, and sufficient and appropriate audit evidence have been obtained for all classes of trade receivables. Now, the auditor concluded that the misstatement was material but confined to one class of receivable, and accordingly, the auditor expressed a qualified opinion. Is it correct or not? You have to tell me. Next, the company has prepared a complete set of financial statements as per contractually agreed special purpose financial reporting framework exclusively so that we can submit to Overseas Development Bank. Now the auditor has concluded that the framework was acceptable. The financial statements has achieved fair presentation within that framework, and the report appropriately identified the special purpose basis of accounting as well. Now, however, considering that the lender has already contractually agreed to maintain confidentiality, the auditor that decided that they should not include any paragraph in their report that is restricting the use or distribution of the auditor's report. Is it correct or not? You have to tell me. Next, the auditor has previously issued an adverse opinion on the complete set of financial statement because revenue recognition policies were inconsistent with the AFRF. Now, subsequently, management has prepared the summarized financial statements. The summarized financial statements were faithfully reflected in the audited financial statements and prominently disclosed all the existence and the reasons for the adverse opinion, and also referred the results to the complete set of financial statements. Now, the auditor nevertheless accepted this engagement and expressed an unmodified opinion, concluding that the users had already been informed. Therefore, we can issue an unmodified opinion. Is it correct or not? You have to tell me. Next, the company requested the auditor to report on compliance with the financial covenants contained in a loan agreement. The auditor accepted the engagement under SS 705, believing that the opinion related to the financial covenants represented specific elements of financial statement. So you will have to identify whether financial covenant is a part of specific element of financial statement or not. These are the options. Let's see. You have to give the correct answer with the reason. Those who give the correct answer with the reason, I will give them the heart so that the other students know what is the correct answer. If you don't know the correct answer, I have already given the correct answer in the pinned comment. You can check out the correct answer with the reason. Okay, yes sir, this was an SA 800 series. And lastly, I will just like to say, since you have watched till last, you have definitely liked the video, so please do like the video, comment down, we will become chartered accountants, so that I know how many students have actually reached till last. Please give your feedbacks, detailed feedbacks on our resources and the revision videos. That will definitely motivate me to push myself harder. And next sir, we have given so many free resources for CA Final Audit. These are all the resources on our YouTube channel and on Telegram channel. Do ensure that you are not missing out on any of the resources. Next is, sir, I have already given my number as well. Here is my number. This is my WhatsApp number, 9023725601. You can definitely ask me any of your queries on this WhatsApp number. Next is, sir, you can do any of the question practice for your SSA 800 series, and that will be very butter to you. And next, sir, important topic that I have made you mark are general important topic. Your attempt specific most expected topics will be marked just before your attempt in a video. Okay, yes sir. Now let's discuss the thoughts. SA 800 says special purpose deserves a special level of dedication. Since you have a special purpose of obtaining this CA degree, you will need a special level of dedication. You cannot compare yourself with the friends who are not doing CA and who are just enjoying their life and you are just going on vacations and trips and everything. Because you have a special purpose, you will need a special level of dedication. This is it. Okay. Yes, sir. As per SA 805, what it is saying, sir, they are saying great results are often decided by a single extra effort. The extra effort that you will be making after just revising this revision video, you will be studying it yourself, you will be filtering out all your content, you will be revising and learning. This is a single extra effort, and this single extra effort will lead to great results. That is it. You need to make single extra efforts every day consistently in a disciplined manner. And lastly, sir, SA 810 what says, sir, they say the goal is not to study less, the goal is to revise smarter. I always say it is better to do 60% syllabus 2 times than to do 100% syllabus 1 time, because when you're doing it 1 time, you may not remember in the exams, but when you're doing it 2 times, there are high chances of remembering in the exams. The quality is always better than quality, and we have to just ensure that we are doing limited content but repeatedly, so that we are able to learn the keywords and we can write the keywords accurately and get high marks in audit. Okay, yes, sir. With this thought, this time we will get exemption in audit. Please keep me in your prayers. We will definitely become chartered accountant. Thank you. So bye bye.